YouTube? What's going on? Got a little bit of a different one for you today. Don't see me. This is my first impressions of Diablo 4, the beta that literally just released today. Now, this is an open beta. It is running through the weekend. Right now, there are only 5 classes that you can choose from. There is Rogue, there is Sorcerer, there is Necromancer, there is a Barbarian, and there is finally Druid. Now, each one of these, before you select them, you can kind of go take a look at their skills. You can't take a look at their skill trees, which I will be getting into later, but you can generally take a look at what you will have access to. But before we get too much further, please leave a like on this video if you like it, subscribe if you are not, and comment down below. Do you think this game is going to be any good, or is this going to be a massive L? So far from what I'm seeing, it's good. However, we have not seen the store, battle pass, or anything else, so we do not know as of right now, the time I am recording this, which is the very first day that this is released, if it's going to be pay to win like Diablo Immortal. But hopefully it's not. We will see. Anyway, as you can see, I'm going through, kind of taking a look at the different skill sets of each individual character. Each one is a little bit different, okay? They're all basically the same as what everyone knows from, the previous Diablo series. But wanted to give you guys a look at that, kind of give you an idea of what was happening. All right, so character creation. So there are a couple of presets. However, you can go through and change them. Skin tone, hair color, etc., etc., etc. Then here you also have the option name your character and also select whether or not it is a hardcore character. Then this is an interesting screen. This it allows you to choose like an easier way or a little bit harder way, and also allows you to set your level of difficulty essentially. Everyone knows about this kind of thing in Diablo, where you can up and down the difficulty depending on your level or how hard you want it to be. Not just hardcore stuff, which is, when your character dies, whatever. I did try to keep as many spoilers out of this as possible. However, I did add in a little bit just to show you guys a little bit of how this entire thing goes. So kind of see how it looks and everything like that, how it plays. I did in some of the gameplay, I did experience some rubber banding. Those of you from the old Call of Duty days, like Black Ops, Modern Warfare 2, stuff like that, you know what I'm talking about. You're running forward and then all of a sudden you're back 30 feet behind you. I don't know if that's just because of the servers today or what. Who knows? But it is quite interesting how they tackled the whole cutscene aspect of it. It's very interesting. Later on, you will be seeing a bit of it. I am just showing you this part. I didn't show a lot of anything that's has spoilers, but warning, there will be some spoiler stuff throughout this, just due to I cut out as much as I could, but some of it I wanted to keep in due to being able to show you guys, give you guys an idea. Now, if you're like me, I was on the fence about Diablo 4, especially after the debacle of Diablo Immortal.
I should find
Diablo Immortal being pay to win and just overall bad. Now, I had heard rumors that they were going to add WASD movement into Diablo 4. It seems like they did not do that in order to kind of keep it Diablo as we know. Now, the UI and everything like that, very clean looking, very standard stuff. I do have a couple of minor complaints when it comes to the armor and how they did that. Everyone knows the typical, you open up your character menu, you look at your armor and everything like that. Everyone knows that. Now, overall, I would say they haven't done a terrible job.
Another abandoned town.
But again, this is still a beta.
Fangs in the dark.
There's plenty of things that are yet to be seen.
Ah! He bit me!
Now, you can see me
Careful.
running around here,
He's
just
a wild one.
going through stuff and everything like that. So,
What's it to you?
this is
Also,
kind of
hush.
interesting
This
how they
madman just
do
stopped.
Demons!
Ruins?
Come.
cutscenes. There is
I'll
a
explain.
better version of it later. They kind of zoom in with the camera into a cutscene.
There is evil
and then
staring in
when
the
you're coming
ruins
out of
to
the
the
cutscene,
north.
you zoom back out.
That poor monk back there
I
must have
don't
gone
know
inside.
if it's that way all the way through. Again,
Even a holy man like him was driven
I'm going to be
mad by
saying
whatever he
that
saw.
a lot, just because, you know, it's the first day of it. I got on for a few hours
Could
to kind
you
of.
protect us
All
from
right,
whatever
so this is
out
what I'm
there?
talking about.
We have nowhere else to turn.
There is evil lurking.
Kind
Really?
of cutscene-ish type thing. You see there, I leveled up. This is your skill tree, okay? Each job has one. It's kind of interesting. So unlike previous Diablos where you just kind of have one skill and then another skill that powers it up and everything like that, you unlock a skill and then you have little trees coming off of that skill to help do stuff. Like so I went with Sorcerer. You could, with your Firebolt, you can make it so that you actually gain back mana as you're using your Firebolt, which is your left click. And then that you can see here a lot of different stuff. You can assign it to different slots, etc., etc., etc. I kind of just let it do its own thing, just to kind of experience it out of the box. The maps, as everyone knows, Diablo has a tendency to have some
taking up all the
larger
space
maps.
by the fire.
And
What's
these
that?
were in fact
You say
quite
something?
good.
I'm sorry.
At least
it's
in my
a
opinion.
bit cramped.
Very much
It's still
Diablo,
better than a
very much
cave.
what we expect of them. So. Here you can see me breaking crates, getting money out of them,
Should clear up when the storm
that
has
sort of
passed.
thing. You can get items out of them. Very much your typical Diablo feel. Now this is what I'm talking about the inventory. It looks very weird, at least to me. I'm sure we'll get used to it later on, but now one thing that is very different from previous Diablos is you don't have mana potions, as far as I can tell. You don't have. You have healing potions, but you see there right above the health bar, I only have 4 of them. And the way you get them is sometimes they're dropped from enemies and stuff like that, and you can only carry 4 at a time. You can't carry any more. So I just got my first piece of equipment. It was a piece of legs. Put that on. Done. Now I don't know if there are unidentified items or anything like that, because I haven't run into any yet. But obviously, if you guys enjoy this kind of content, I will be doing more of it. Now this part's interesting. Here you have Summoner, which has 2 different types of staves. They have or wands or whatever. They've got a short one, and then they've got 2-handed one. With the short one, you can use that and an artifact, and then with the 2-handed one, obviously, you're stuck with that one thing. Now, the dungeons, as always, very similar to basically everything else in Diablo. And you can see there, I got a couple of potions out of that chest, but obviously I didn't need them since I was at full health and I had full potions already. I will say is the combat system does feel a little bit more refined compared to games like Diablo 2 Resurrected Edition as well as Diablo 3. It does feel a little bit better, a little bit more fluid. Again, I'm still fairly early on in the game. You cannot get very far into the game, obviously, on the open beta, but as you can see here, fighting two skeletons through the doorway where I cannot fully see them. The door's blocking me, but they are outlined nicely. I'm very easily able to kill them. Whereas in previous ones, it did feel a little bit harder to do that sort of thing.
I'm not ready yet.
Now, as you can see here, a couple of exploding barrels that then drop, fire onto the ground so that enemies can walk through. They can get anything. One thing I did not mention and have not mentioned yet is that you can very easily dodge. There is a dedicated dodge button, which you see above my monobar. It recharges over 5 seconds, so I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it is a dedicated dodge that you just, as you can see on my screen, it's spacebar. You just push it, you dodge, and yeah, it's very useful. I will say that. There was a, mini boss fight that I did do that it helped me a lot. And again, as you can see here, as I level up more, I increase more. That red bar then connects down, allows you to unlock more skills, and so on and so forth throughout the skill tree. Now, this is, as far as I can tell, how it's going to be. Which, with it being so close around the corner to release, then most likely that's it.
You've returned.
The old
Now, this is what I was talking about the kind of camera zoom in onto the cutscene, all right? As you can see here, we upwards camera just like normal Diablo. Now we're coming in for a more cinematic
We
cutscene.
haven't any coin to offer. But we have
I did want to show you this part, just kind of show you how it transitions and stuff. Now, obviously, we're not going to be watching this entire cutscene because, again, spoilers. But I did want to show kind of how cutscenes are. Now, very nice. I do like that. It is very interesting.
Like the ones I was fed.
And again, here's another way that they transition the cutscene. It was very interesting. I'm not going to show this entire cutscene. I'm just going to show this little transition part. That's it. Now, I did discover these little totems, or whatever you want to call them. There is a couple of them. I didn't really do a lot with them due to I didn't go searching for them or anything like that, but it does seem like that there are several in an area. Now, this is one interesting mechanic. It allows you to climb up something or climb underneath something without having to go around some crazy route or anything like that. So as you can see here, and they do show up on your mini map, and I was curious as to what they were. That's why I came over and explored this one. This one allows you to climb down and then adversely also climb up. Now, you do get to interact with some of the environment. Unlike in previous Diablos where you couldn't really do that sort of thing, they did add a bit more of that to this. Still very Diablo feeling, still very much this. Again, this transition, I did cut a lot of that out. And sometimes a character, depending on what part of a quest you are on, will join you and help fight with you as you go about. I do believe that there's a fight up here where they do help.
Lilith's evil is spreading.
My burden is too great.
Now, one thing I will say about the whole inventory thing is that all items, no matter what size they are all the same size. They all only take up one slot in your inventory. And the inventory is split up into different sections. There are consumables and all sorts of other stuff.
To enter Kyovashad, you must perform a cleansing ritual.
How dare you?
Just let him through, lad.
So I'm just showing this part just because it's a quick little cutscene. It doesn't have any weighing on the story.
I'll meet you inside.
Thought it was a cool
Take
little
a piece
interaction
of
thing
holy
that you
cedar
can do.
wood from the shrine and inscribe it with the sin which troubles you. Then cast it into the brazier. As the fire burns the wood, so too will the light burn away your sin.
Anger.
Good. You must feel welcome to.
Now here we get to look at the first city in Diablo 4, or first town, whatever you want to call it. So the basic, essentially your starting area. Like I said, there were some issues with the servers. I was getting rubber banding, stuff like that. You can see it here. But overall, it didn't feel bad. It felt like they were doing a pretty...
Something about hate or anger.
They did a better job preparing for it than they did for, like... Okay, this is interesting. There's an alchemist here. As you can see, there are, like, tiny potions and all sorts of other stuff, and they have levels next to them. Now, I'm curious as to what this ends up being. Like, exploring this more. Obviously, I haven't. But I do plan to explore it more, kind of take a look, see the kind of stuff that they do. And then right up here, we have blacksmith, which obviously almost everyone knows the blacksmith. You know, you can salvage your junk with them. You can repair your armor. Again, I haven't explored it too much, so I'm not sure what else you can do, but I imagine there's more that you can do with it. I haven't fully explored the different mechanics of it. Kind of wanted to just get a first impression because
You need a proper weapon.
like most of you, I'm sure, I myself basically said, if this beta is good, then I'll be happy.
That mixed 17.
If this beta is bad or it's really sketchy, then I'm probably not going to get the game. Now, as you can see here I am running around,
I'm off to
stuff
the
like
dry
that.
steps in search of that pale man from your vision. I must know. But first, I need you to retrieve something of mine while I finish my negotiations. A merchant in the center of the
Just
city.
some minor character dialogue.
There was a prophecy, yes. It foretold the rise of the primevals. Inarius adopted the prophecy for his own selfish purposes. Put it. Cracked toes, sway back, cloudy eyes. This pup thing is practically cool.
So as you can see there, different areas basically the teleports and everything like that, which is in
So the old man's
every
finally
Diablo,
decided to buy it back.
I believe, except for the first one.
Knowing him, he didn't mention
Allows
coin.
you to
If
jump
he
from
wants his
area
weapon.
to area fairly quickly. And then also there's other new stuff that they've added, different little side quests and everything in cities to be able to help, you know, kind of flesh things out a little bit. No longer is it just your main story quests, and essentially that's it. They have added a bit more into it. I haven't really looked into that stuff. Again, just kind of feeling the game out, seeing what it's like. You can see here, I saw a little blue
perhaps you could sweep the
exclamation
roads.
point on my mini map. Figured I'd check it out. Decided, what the hell. Picked up what seems like a little side quest. Decided to go check it out. Now here I am, leaving town, typical Diablo fashion. And then they have these. Now these they have similar stuff in Diablo 3. Essentially, if you kill monsters within a certain period of time, you get a treasure chest. I did not get the treasure chest. Again, figuring it out. I play a lot of Diablo. Diablo is something I fully enjoy. I play just to enjoy and everything. You can see here, there's different effects that they can put on you. You see me heal myself. You'll see me dodge a couple of times. Yeah, you saw me dodge away there. Used it too early. Overall, I would have to say that this game has promise. Now, as to whether or not they are going to pull the same thing that they did with Diablo 3, adding a real money trading aspect to it, or make it pay to win, which is very interesting, has yet to be seen. Because obviously we can't see battle pass or any of that stuff in the open beta. There might be a reason for that, but we will have to see what happens when the game fully releases. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Remember, make sure to leave a like on the video if you liked it. Comment down below whether or not you played Diablo 4. And as always, get subscribed because I do have a lot more content. Alright? It's been a while since I've uploaded. Sorry about that. It has been recently. With internet. I'm sure you guys and you've seen that. And you can see here, I just killed all the monsters. I don't believe I get anything super good out of this chest. I get a couple of things, but nothing like awesome. But anyway, guys, until next time, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Peace and love. I'm out.